Football is back, but the window remains open, and today we have had 17 transfers across the big leagues in Europe. A big welcome to Social Soccer. My name is Sammy Thomas. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the European Transfer Show. We've got plenty of completed deals that have happened today. So we're going to look at the incomings, including a really big signing if you're a fan of Spanish football. There have also been developments at Spurs, developments at Hoffenheim, Ipswich, Juventus. So stick around for your daily transfer roundup. It's going to be a very exciting show. We got lots to get into, so let's get into it. Before we do, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to be kept up to date with all the transfer news across Europe. We cover all the stories across the big leagues throughout European football. So hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date. We do daily transfer shows, match reactions, and we'll be going live at every single AFC Bournemouth home and away game as well to do match reactions and match day vlogs. So make sure you hit the button to stay up to date. Let's jump into the transfer show. So let's take a look at some of the movements that have happened today, but haven't quite materialised into confirmed transfers, but I'm pretty sure over the weekend they will. First point of call, the first place we're going to be starting is Czechoslovakian striker Adam. Now, most of you will know him because of his stint at Leverkusen last season. 7 goals in 34 games. Before the move to Leverkusen, he netted 40 in 120 games for Sparta Prague. So, 24 years old, capped 34 times for the Czechoslovakian team. Normally plays off the front man, can play out wide as well, or in a 10. But the interesting thing about Hlausek is heavily linked to Leicester over the last couple of days, up until the point Leicester actually agreed a fee with Bayer Leverkusen. The fee was accepted. It seemed and was widely reported as well that terms had been agreed. However, today, out of nowhere, it is widely reported in Germany that Hoffenheim have come in and completely stolen the deal from Leicester. From what we understand and what is being reported, Hlausek is now at Hoffenheim having talks, undergoing a medical. I was pretty certain, like everybody was, he was going to be here in the Premier League for Leicester. However, out of nowhere, it looks like he'll be staying in Germany and going to Hoffenheim. So keep an eye on that one. Listen, I don't think the deal is dead for Leicester. However, when something drastic like this happens, he's in Germany currently as well. I think you've really got to be looking at that, thinking, you know, if you're a Leicester fan, this could be game over for that deal. Look, we all thought it was on. We all thought he'd be playing in the Premier League. I was very excited to see him, actually. The young forward, loads of potential. However, it looks like he'll be staying in Germany. The next bit of movement, and there's movement on this one every single day, is Manuel Ugarte, central midfielder at Paris Saint-Germain. He is linked with Manchester United every single day. He wants Man United. Man United want Ugarte. You can throw the Sancho kind of conundrum into the mix as well. Either way, he is still a Paris Saint-Germain player. The movements that have happened today are the fact that he has been left out of the Paris Saint-Germain matchday squad for their opening game of the season against Le Havre. So make of that what you will, but he is not in the matchday squad. There's a big indication there that he's not going to be part of the PSG plans this season. It's also a big, strong indication that they are wanting to move the player on, otherwise he'd be involved. So he is not involved. The stumbling block, as always at Man United, it is the price tag. However, PSG are asking for 60 million. Now, the fact of the matter is they bought Ugarte for 60 million from Sporting Lisbon 12 months ago. He's coming to Paris Saint-Germain. He hasn't set the world alight, which is why they're looking to move him on. So how on earth he can still be quoted at 60 million by Paris Saint-Germain, it's quite alarming from them, but it's, I suppose, typical of their tactics. If you think when Di Maria went from Manchester United to Paris Saint-Germain, I think Paris Saint-Germain paid about 50% in terms of the transfer fee that Manchester United paid Real Madrid. Because the player depreciated, it just happens every 12 months. You can't pay the same, but PSG are asking for the same. So they're playing hard ball. I imagine there's going to be more movements on this every day. It's one of those where it could literally be done on Sunday, or this could roll up up until August 31st. But more movements again. It's a key transfer, because what it also means, if Ugarte comes in, what does that mean for Scott McTominay? What does that mean for Casemiro, for example? So we know Man United have to sell to buy. 60 million is a lot, but even if they meet in the middle at 50, for example, there's still going to be more outgoings at Man United. So this is a key piece in the transfer conundrum there. So keep an eye on this one. listen, I think it'd be a great addition to Manchester United's midfield as well. So, I mean, look, there's lots to develop, lots to happen, but keep your eyes peeled on Manuel Ugarte. And finally, this one is closer to home. It's Evanilson. Bournemouth have agreed a club record fee with Porto for the Brazilian striker. Some outlets are reporting that it's done, it's complete. I was at the ground earlier today, no press there. Bournemouth haven't announced it online yet either. They might be waiting until tomorrow to get that match day vibe buzz going. But either way, this should and could be 90-95%, even 99% done. What a signing for Bournemouth. Solanke's out, Evanilson's in, Solanke gone for 65. It looks like Evanilson will be coming in for about 38 plus add-ons. So you're getting a 24-year-old Evanilson and a bit of change as well. 154 games for Porto, 60 goals, 21 assists. Really exciting player. Plays on the shoulder, plays directly down the middle, and he's one of these players who I believe will fit into Andoni Iraola's system perfectly. He likes to play rock and roll chaos football. This guy can finish, and his awareness, his brain in the box, and the chances he's going to get as well, I think it's a match made in heaven. Watch closely for this one. It should be the green light. We should see Evanilson holding up a Bournemouth shirt with number 9 on the back very, very soon. Who knows? Maybe even on this show. Interesting stuff though, and it's also interesting as well to talk about these, what we call movements, because they're not rumours, they're not plucked out of the sky or anything like that. They are very, very close to be confirmed. They're very, very close to getting that here we go, for example. So where the movement happens and when it is confirmed, the knock-on effects it could have as well are massive in terms of the transfer market. It creates a domino effect. So very, very keen to keep a close eye on them. And we bring you this every day as well. What we want to do now is switch our attention to a transfer that went through yesterday. Very exciting transfer if you're a fan of Girona. Look, you're just in the Champions League, which is absolutely brilliant. Yes, you lost Dozbik, but what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the transfer and focus that you made yesterday. So I wanted to talk about one of the left field transfers, you could call it, that happened yesterday evening. And that was the transfer of Bojan Miovski. Now, I really like this deal for Girona because they have paid only £4.5 million. And if you don't know Miovski, he's an electric, tall and pricey frontman. He can play wide over free, but he's more importantly, he is a finisher. In the box, he's a handful. I like this move for him. Especially, replacing Dovbik, who went to Roma. Yes, they bought in Ruiz. Ruiz, very good striker. They got him in from Braga. But, they're in the Champions League now. They're going to need a couple of options. And Miovski is going to take that next step. Set the world alight, to be honest, when he joined Aberdeen. Last season, 26 goals in 53 games, and the season before that it was 16 goals in 42 games. So he joined Aberdeen from MTK Budapest, and now this really is his big move. It's really interesting for the player and the club in terms of a fit. Look, Girona, they've been busy. They've already brought in former Barcelona forward and Braga forward Ruiz, as I mentioned. He wore the captain's armband for Spain in the Olympics, so he'll be coming back full of energy, sky high, but also, look, they brought in Donny van der Beek. For all his kind of downfalls, there's a player in there. They've also brought in Brian Hill from Spurs as well. So this is a team, it gets the ball down, likes to have possession, likes to get the ball in the box and create chances. So I'm very excited to see Miovski kick on and be playing in a team on the front foot that does just that. Obviously very different playing style to Aberdeen, but this is a team that does get the ball down and play and looks to get the ball in the box at any opportunity. So yeah, really interesting to see how Miovski kicks on there. But look, there are also 16 other transfers that happened today that we haven't talked about yet. Everybody's talking about them. The mainstream media, however, won't talk about them, as we know, but we're going to cover them here. So let's take a deep dive in. Let's jump into the transfer hub and show you exactly what happened in the world of transfers across Europe today. So, Pau Lopez, back in La Liga. Marseille have loaned him to Girona. Only 29, former Roma keeper, a lot of experience. Very good addition to the squad as they look to start their Champions League campaign. Bournemouth then loaned out Romain Favre to Stade Brest, back in the French league. He came back from his loan in January, back to Dean Court, but didn't really do much, so no surprise to see him go back to France. Out of nowhere, Tottenham, they bought Wilson Odobert from Burnley, 27 million. Odobert started Burnley's game against Luton on Monday, but now finds himself at Tottenham. Exciting young French forward, to be honest. Really interesting buy for Tottenham. Nobody really seen that coming whatsoever. Monaco then bought in Paris Brunner from Borussia Dortmund under-19s, £4 million price tag. Chelsea youngster Diego Moreira, he went to their sister club Strasbourg for £2 million. Let's face it, he's not going to be getting a look in. The world talked about Sammy Smodic, top scorer in the Championship last season for Blackburn Rovers, has now completed his move to Ipswich for £9 million. Ipswich has been very busy. The legend that is Yedran Shaqiri, he's back in Switzerland. He joins Basel on a free. Charlie Hughes, Wigan youngster, Hull have paid £4 million for his services. Big future ahead of him. Which again, this time, Calvin Phillips on loan from Man City. Very interesting buy. Let's see if it goes better than the West Ham move last season. Atlanta, they bought in Frosinone central midfielder Marco Brasciani. Really good season with Frosinone last season, but obviously they went down, so Atalanta have got him on a loan to buy. Middlesbrough, Tommy Conway, the young Scottish striker. 12 goals for Bristol City last season. Middlesbrough have bought him in for £4.8 million. Talking of young strikers, Cameron Archer, he's made the move to Southampton from Aston Villa, £15 million. Ghent, they've been busy this transfer window. They've bought in Cape Verde winger Helio Varela for £2.5 million. We then had Fiorentina. They bought in Albert Goodmanson, loan to buy from Genoa. Goodmanson, 17 goals in Serie A last season. Really interesting buy for Fiorentina. Again, another club who's been very busy. And finally, Mark McKenzie, he made the move, the young USA centre-half. He moved from Genk over to Toulouse for £3 million. So there is the roundup. Like I said, lots going on, lots of movement, lots of interesting completed deals. Very exciting times as well now. The transfer window, it is coming to the back end, but I think now the Olympics and the Euros are done, we're going to start to see a lot of interesting developments. Of course, football is back this weekend as well, but I don't believe that will stop the rumour mill from turning. So what we've done is we've put together a list just of today, stuff to keep an eye on over the weekend, from tier one, top tier journalists, reliable sources in terms of the rumours that could have legs and could progress into something early start of next week. Let's take a little look at them. So first reports coming out that Ajax left back Borna Sosa, he's been linked with Torino, left back or left midfielder. Really exciting Croatian fullback. Hasn't really kicked on since his move from Stuttgart over to Ajax, but Torino could be a great place for him to go next. They play a back three with wing backs, so Sosa would fit in brilliantly there. Bit of a left field one from Romano. Romano reported that Marcus Edwards, he is a Juventus target, the former Tottenham winger, now at Lisbon. Very exciting young English wide man, to be honest with you. Needs the next move if he is going to kick on and ever get into the national team, but what a move that would be if that could come off. Of course, Juventus looking to offload Federico Chiesa. We know he's surplus to requirements, so there is a right wing spot available at Juve. Billy Gilmour still heavily linked. Those links won't go away. Linked to Napoli, what a move that would be for Gilmour, following in the tracks, I suppose, of Lewis Ferguson, who had a great season at Bologna, the Scottish midfielder. If Billy Gilmour ended up at Napoli, I think he would really push on. Napoli like to keep the ball, they play high tempo, possession-based football. Billy Gilmour would slot right into that team, I am sure, so keep an eye on that one. Napoli are also linked quite heavily with Scott McTominay as well. Will they get both? Probably not, so yeah, you know, one to keep an eye on, and again, Ugarte deal could have a big knock-on effect on that. Crystal Palace, I was looking at their squad earlier, they could, you know, it looks like a good squad, but it could do with a left back, and Robin Gosens, Union Berlin, has been linked there. There's a couple of other clubs in Germany circling around for him as well, especially Hoffenheim. We spoke about them earlier, but this could be an interesting move for Crystal Palace. It probably will determine on the Mark Weahey deal though. Victor Lindelof, he's been linked to Fiorentina by Di Marzio. Future very uncertain at Manchester United, especially now that they've just brought in De Ligt. Pablo Dybala, AS Roma to Al-Qadsia. Could that be a possibility? Well, there's a £12 million release clause apparently in Dybala's contract. So I'm sure if they're paying as low as 12 million over in Saudi, the wages will be astronomical. He's linked with a move, to be honest, every single window. It never really comes off. maybe now will be the summer that we see Dybala leave Roma. Mark Guehi, what a Euros he had. Newcastle, I think they're up to 4 bids now on Mark Guehi. They won't go away, they want him in. Palace are holding firm on their asking price. Listen, I think after this first round of fixtures are out the way, Newcastle will be back in again, so watch this space on that one. And David Ornstein, he's been reporting that Mikel Merino is a target for Arsenal. We've seen him in the Euros. Real Sociedad central midfielder. He'd be a great addition to the midfield there, I'm sure, especially under Arteta. Could be a very, very good signing for Arsenal if they get that one over the line. Look, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Just got some time now for some of the questions. So if you've got any questions, pop it in the previous video and we roll them over into this one. Let's just have a look through a couple here. We got the first question from Roger41 Beard. All right, Beardy. So he says, Sam, any more signings for Palace? Well, we just kind of touched on that actually. So Palace, outgoings, James Tompkins, Riederveld, Ferguson and Elise. They've all left the club. I think Raksaki, he's about to join Sheffield United on loan as well. There's obviously rumours about Guehi, Joachim Andersen and Eze. They probably won't go away. So I think a lot depends on the outgoings. They've already been busy. They bought in Riyad from Betis, Ismaili Assar, who's a great signing. Who else have they bought in? Daichi Kamada from Lazio as well on a free. So don't forget, within the ranks as well, they've got Decore, they've got Wharton, they've got Ahamada as their 3 young centre mids. They've got Jefferson Lerma, they've got Will Hughes, 2 good centre halves at the moment. Mateta up front, the backup strikers being Edouard and Ayew. You know, they can certainly do a lot worse, that's for sure. So, I don't know, probably that left back area, if they are going to strengthen. There's rumours about Sam Johnston leaving as well. Probably not a bad thing for his career. So maybe, you know, just a backup keeper or something like that. But listen, they bought well. I think Ismaili Assar will be a very, very good addition. I think the rest is just kind of watch this space and see if there's any outgoings. If there are outgoings, I think Palace will definitely have the checkbook out again. That's for sure. Beardo, hopefully that answers your question. Filippo says, Sammy, what do you think of Lazio's window? Interesting window for Lazio because they've lost Luis Alberto and Kamada. But those are kind of 2 central players, not exactly blessed with pace. What they've brought in is they've brought in a winger from Verona called Noslin and a winger called Choma from Salernitana as well. So both playing in Italy, young wingers, 9 and 10 million pounds respectively. So it seems like they're just trying to change the way they play a bit by adding a little bit of pace into the team. They've got Castellanos down the middle up front, massive fan of him. And in my opinion, they got one of the best young wide forwards in the world right now in Gustav Isaacson. So keep an eye on him this season. He's just turned 23. So this is the kind of season, if, you know, he is going to become one of those great players, he needs to do it. I think he will. So do keep an eye on him. So don't forget Lazio, they've also got Zaccagni. Zaccagni scored that wonder goal for Italy in the Euros that we all seen. They got Daniel Cataldi as well. They've got Alan Patrice at the back. They've got a really good, solid team. They finished 7th this season. I think, to be honest, they need to get the checkbook out. They need to bring a couple more players in. But they've done good business so far. They're a very good and entertaining team to watch. So let's see. But I think it's been a very good window so far for Lazio, just by bringing in those wide wingers, especially Noslin. He's got so much pace. If you get the chance to watch him, try and do so because he's very, very exciting. Any more questions to go through? No, we don't. That is it. So look, guys, that is the transfer show. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We've got everything condensed into one centralised place for you. So if you're a football fanatic, just like myself and just like all the community is here on that channel, this is the place to get all of your transfer news day by day. We'll also be bringing you the results show as well. So we've got a results show tonight. We're going to be covering Manchester United's game with Fulham. PSG are kicking off their season. La Liga starts. Belgium League starts as well. So we're going to have loads to go through. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. As mentioned, I'm up at the City Ground tomorrow watching Bournemouth away at Nottingham Forest, so I'll be going live there as well. So hopefully you can join us virtually, of course. But have a great evening. Let's go enjoy the game of football.